All right, so good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming to yoga class. Um, we're going to start laying down and have your strap nearby. And if it is in a loop, go ahead and take it out of the loop or make your loop super small because you're going to want your strap, the whole thing. We're going to be working on some stretches and hamstrings and all that yummy stuff. So with that, go ahead and find yourself comfortable on the floor. And if it's okay for your back, go ahead and straighten the legs down to the floor. If that bothers you in any way, it's early in class, please keep the knees bent so that you don't feel cranky or your body doesn't feel cranky while you're laying here. And then maybe rock a little side to side and broaden through the sacrum and broaden through the shoulders. Whew. And start to feel the shoulders come down to the floor. The back of the head is nice and nestled into your yoga mat. And then maybe the arms come out to, or just down to your sides with the palms face up. And feel how this posture, which is really Shavasana, right? Uh, Notice how it feels in your body. If you were to just observe the left side compared to the right side, or one leg compared to the other, or that the upper body maybe feels really comfortable, but the lower body feels a little funky. Just kind of notice and feel free to wiggle. Like I'm already wiggling a little bit. I'm feeling one hip to the other. And just seeing if I can alleviate that a little bit. So notice that and then come to stillness and take the breath in nice and deep. And then as you exhale, draw that breath to any part of the body that feels like it might need it. And then inhaling again. And as you exhale, draw that exhale toward the part of the body that might need a little extra attention or a little more relaxing. And keep that up for 3 more breaths. And if there is more than one part of the body that could use your attention, maybe you go there next. Good last breath right here. And then take the right arm overhead, really, really tall if you can. So you're really stretching that right arm and then engage the right leg so the toes point up toward the ceiling. The arm is stretching in one direction, the leg's stretching in the other direction. Big deep breath, the left side of your body nice and relaxed and stretch, and then maybe slide the right arm across the left a little bit. So it's still on the floor overhead if it reaches there. The elbow can be soft, and you're just stretching that right side, and then bring everything back to center. Let that arm come down. Go to the left side, the left arm goes overhead. The left leg gets energized. Relax the right leg, by the way, and stretch one limb away from the other limb. Big deep breath, and then maybe slide the left arm over toward the right side a little bit. And come back to center and release that side. Take the right arm overhead again. The palm is face up, and this time the elbow is bent. So The elbows bent out to the side. Hopefully, the back of your hand is touching the floor. And if not, maybe your blanket goes underneath to give that shoulder a little bit of support. And then notice that. And then take the right leg and draw that knee out to the side. So we played with this a little bit, I think, last class, Wednesday. So as if you were in a tree pose and the arm is overhead with a bent elbow. And just pause here and notice both sides of the body as you lay here in this very passive stretch. The left side is relaxed. The left leg is doing whatever it would normally do. So we're not holding any tension here. Breathe. And then release both sides. Good. And just are both limbs and see how that feels, one side to the other. Take the left arm overhead, the elbow is bent, the palm is face up. The right side fully relaxed, the left knee comes out to the side as well, as if you were doing tree pose or like a half of a Baddha Konasana pose. And pause again here and notice. We don't take a lot of time, unless we're doing more of a yin style class, we don't take a lot of time to just observe the sides of the body and how the pose feels in the body. Excuse me. And then release that side. Both limbs down, feel all four limbs in the body. And then finally, just take both arms overhead. Again, the elbows are bent. I've got both palms face up. My fingers are touching each other. Bend both knees, turn both knees out to the side. Little bit of Baddha Konasana here, supine Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet together. And let the knees rock a little side to side, just a little rock. Find your breath. Shaking it out. And then come to stillness. And with your exhale, bring the knees and the elbows together. So you're just going to squeeze everything in. And exhale, let it go out. And inhale, bring everything to center. Exhale out to the sides. Good, 3 more. Just squeeze them in. Exhale out. And 4. Inhale. Exhale. And both everything out to the sides. And then everything to center, both legs straight, both arms overhead, and stretch all the way. And let those arms come down. Shake it out, everybody. Bend the knees, grab your strap. Take the strap around your right foot. And once you have the right foot up toward the ceiling, just check maybe your strap is pretty even on both sides. So you've got the same length on either side. And feel your right leg up toward the ceiling. If it is okay for you, straighten the left leg down to the floor. If that messes up your stretch of your right hamstring, keep the left leg bent. And just hold for a second. Check out your foot. Does it tend to roll in? Does it tend to roll out? Imagine that you were stepping on the ceiling. So on a nice straight foot there. Good. If the strap is around the ball mound of the foot, press that down and feel that nice sweet stretch at the back of your leg. Find your breath here. And then holding that strap with on either side, right? With both hands, bend the knee and draw the knee toward your chest. And then straighten it up again. And bend the knee and straighten. Good. Bend the knee. So I'm trying to bring that knee to my chest. I'm not bringing the heel down to my thigh. Yep. Almost like a little half happy baby. One more time. Bend the knee, draw that knee in toward your chest. Hold it there. Hold the strap with one hand and just lift your left leg a couple of inches off the floor. And try to imagine a lunge. Okay, so The left leg is powered up. It's pressing into that imaginary floor. The right knee is bent, and that foot is also pressing into the imaginary floor. We're finding some length here. Keep the left leg where it is, straighten the right leg. Find your breath. Hold the strap with both hands again and lower the right leg just a little bit and raise the left leg just a little bit. I want you to think of pyramid pose. So the left leg turns out a little to the side. Whew. The right leg is on the floor. The left leg is pressing on that imaginary floor. We're working with this stretch. Good. Bend the right knee. Yep. So I know you got to keep your lefts and rights straight. So the left leg is still straight, hovering, toes turned out a little. The right knee is bent again. I want you to think of a warrior one stance. And lower the left leg, straighten the right leg up to the ceiling. Take the strap out and lower that leg all the way to the floor. Guess where we're going today? Bend both knees. Take the left foot, the strap on the left foot. Once again, just kind of check it out. Where is the stretch on this side? Is it easier? Is it a little bit more challenging? If it's okay for your body, straighten the right leg. Whew. The strap is around the ball mound of that left foot. Check your foot. Is it nice and straight? Is the leg relatively straight, right? Depends on your hamstrings. Breathe. Press into the strap to feel that stretch along the back leg. Breathe, everybody. Good. And then bend the left knee and draw it toward your chest. And again, notice one side easier, one side harder, and then straighten it. Good. A few more times. Bend the knee toward your chest and straighten. Bend in toward chest. And straighten one more time. Bend it and straighten, and then bend and hold and lift the right leg. Woo, right? So this is such a simple move. And yet it's like, wow, there's a serious amount of work happening right now. The right leg is hovering, but it's straight. Think lunge. The left leg is bent, but really powerful here. I'm pushing my foot into the strap, and yet I'm holding on to that strap. Breathe, and then raise the right leg a little bit, turn it out. Straighten the left leg, but lower it a little bit. I want you to think of pyramid pose. If you could picture what your legs would look like in pyramid pose, right? The right toes are turned out slightly. The hips are level, right? Those headlights are pointing straight up to the ceiling. Find your breath. Whew. And then bend the left knee to find warrior two or warrior one possibility. Big deep breath, everybody. And straighten the left leg, lower the right leg, take the strap off and lower that leg to the floor. Whew. And then just kind of shake out those feet. Maybe feel the hips, maybe feel what's happening left side to right side, and notice if it feels a little bit more even. All right, so bend both knees. We're almost done with this. Take the strap around the right foot again. Straighten the left leg if that's okay for you. And if not, keep it bent, right? This isn't about good or bad. It's just where your hammies are. And then take the strap in your right hand and take the strap outside your right leg and then reach it to the inside. What I'm looking for is a strap assisted external rotation of the right leg. So when you take the strap outside, behind the leg, and then to the inside, it should help you externally rotate the leg. The knee stays relatively straight. Find your breath here. Lift the left leg just an inch or two. Optional, by the way. Try to keep the right leg straight. Lower the left leg, straighten your right foot, take the strap, unwind, and then go the other way. So that strap goes to the inside of your leg, wraps around the back of the leg, comes to the outside. And then as I pull on that strap, the leg will internally rotate. So when we have hip issues, knee issues, ankle issues sometimes, if we can just take some time to stretch it out and check out all the different facets of these legs, often we can work those things out a little bit. So just notice your foot should be pointing toward the inside, at least some, right? The legs are even. Maybe lift the left leg again so you're working a little bit of core, a little bit of psoas. Deep breath, everybody. Lower the left leg, unwind your foot, hold both sides of the strap. Just give that hamstring one more little stretch. Take the strap off and lower that leg down to the floor. Woo, feel both sides and bend the left leg, the other leg. Take that up to the ceiling. Oh, goodness gracious. Good. Your right leg is either bent or straight down on the floor. You should have a nice stretch going on there. Notice again the hamstring stretch on the left side. Where do you feel it? Big deep breath. And then take the strap outside of your foot or outside of your leg, wrap it around the back, pull it to the inside, let that leg externally rotate. Depending on how you're built, you all have heard me say this so many times now. Depending on how you're built, that foot's either going to really turn out to the side, or it's going to barely turn out to the side, or it's going to be somewhere in the middle, right? It depends on how your hips, how your thigh bones go into your hip bones or your hip sockets. There's a song in there somewhere, isn't there? Breathe, everybody. Just notice, where do you feel the sensation? Where is it happening for you? And then release, unwind the leg, go back to the inside, wrap it around the inside behind the leg to the outside, and then pull on the strap and notice the internal rotation of the leg. Does this one rotate more or less? It's not even that it so much matters, other than you might notice a tightness that you didn't notice before, or an old injury that shows itself in the difference from one leg to the other. Deep breath. Good. Release that side. Keep that leg up there. Draw a nice strong, or strong's probably not the right word, but a nice little hamstring stretch. Bend the right leg, take the right foot up into the strap with the left leg. Separate your feet about hips width apart, and then pull out on those strap. So I'm trying to pull the legs wider, but I'm not letting them go, right? Whew, breathe. And then go a little wider, pull again. So I'm pressing my feet out to the edges of the strap, and then go a little wider or a lot wider and pull or press really strong. Keep the sacrum on the floor. Don't round your back, everybody. And then pull it all right back in. Bend your knees. Bring your knees to your chest. Oh, yeah. Set your strap aside. Roll those knees to one side and come on up to a seat. Whew. And just feel that. I mean, that kind of nice opening of the legs and of the hips that hopefully, especially if you've been traveling a bit, feel much better. So find a nice, easy seat, whatever works for you, whether it's cross-legged or straight-legged. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, one hand down, one arm over. I want you to reach over that knee, slide that arm across, take it back up to the ceiling. Listen up. You're going to take that hand down, reach over the knee, slide it across, take it up, switch again. One hand down, stretch over, reach over, slide it over, take it up. Last one, Take the hand down, reach over, slide it over, take it up, both arms up, soften the shoulders down, hang on to that beach ball, bend the elbows, take them behind you. Lean back, take the feet to Baddha Konasana. Woo, press the elbows back, press the head back into the arms. Woo, and everything in, everything out. Everything in, everything out. Woo. And when I say out, right, press the elbows back so we get the back body. Press the knees out gently so we get those inner thighs. One more, squeeze everything in, squeeze everything out. Open the arms, lean back, open the legs. Woo. Press those legs down. Let the hands come down. Shake out the legs. Big deep breath, everybody. Lift up through your torso. Maybe walk the hands forward. Draw the shoulders back. Good. One more nice deep breath here. And then take it up, slide the legs together. Grab your strap. You're going to take the strap around your left foot. Hold on to it with your left hand and take it up to the ceiling. Whew. Yeah, so here we are again, right? We've got that leg up and hovering, and I'm just thinking about pyramid pose. So I'm going to pull the left shoulder back. I'm going to keep the left leg relatively straight. The right leg, I'm going to energize, but I'm going to turn the toes out just a little bit and breathe. So if we were standing, which we're going to get to, and we were doing pyramid pose, this would be torso halfway down. If I take the other arm straight out, this is the hands to the floor or to our blocks. One leg super straight, the other leg slightly turned, both hips pointing in the same direction. There's a theme happening here. Good. Bend the knee, everybody. Pull it in. Now, if you can reach that foot without the strap, you can let the strap go. Find your breath. Take the other arm up. Imagine again, maybe a lunge happening here. Breathe. That's it. You got it. And then release it. Stretch it out and let it go. Shake it out. Other side, wrap that right foot. Bend the knee. Pull that knee in. Think about it, right? Front knee bent. Bottom leg energized, but the toes pointing slightly out. The hips are level. The chest is long. We're not rounding our backs. Whew. Good. Reach the arm forward. Yeah, so what are we working here, right? All kinds of things, but we're certainly working quad and psoas a bit. Breathe. Straighten the leg. Oops. Top leg, that one that's hovering, that's nice and straight. The bottom leg is a little sideways. Lift the chest toward the leg. Good. Bend the knee and let go. Shake it out. One more, and then we're going to get moving. Wrap the left foot again. Bring the knee in. Squeeze it into chest. Think about it. Reach that arm forward. Find your breath. Straighten the leg up. Woo. Let the strap go. Both arms. Firing up that leg, I know. And lower down. Don't overdo it. Shake that out. Other side. Take the leg. Take it out. Bend the knee into chest. Find your breath. Straighten it out. Big and powerful here. Take the strap off. Woo, reach the arms. I know. And lower down. Everybody's going, so glad Mary's back home. Good. And just kind of shake those legs out. Good. Take the left leg. Let's come into a seated figure four. See if we can stretch that out a little bit. And then we're going to get up off our little butts. Good. Bend the knee if that's appropriate. Just shake it out. Find your breath. Do not overdo it. Breathe. And then imagine the center of your chest reaching beyond that shin, right? So pull the chest forward. Ah, that feels good. Slowly lower that leg, release that one. Remember, watch the knees too, right? My dear friend out there that's got a little knee issue going on right now. If this hurts, please don't do it. Bend the knee, just kind of shake it out a little bit. If we are sitting a lot, right, these stretches are so important to get all those muscles moving because it can really create some imbalances if we have jobs or lives or travel that are causing us to sit a whole bunch. Bring the center of the chest forward. Breathe. And slide that leg out, release. Just shake it all out, everybody. And let's come on up. So we're going to come to table pose just to start. You'll want your blocks for a little bit later, so just make sure they're in reach. Plant the hands, tone in through the belly, press the right leg back, tone the belly in again, lift the leg. And then bend that knee, squeeze it in, and straighten it. And bend, squeeze, and straighten. So I want that pause at the squeeze. Pause, squeeze it in, and straighten. Good. And again, pause and squeeze. Try not to lift that hip and straighten. Last one, pause, squeeze, turn the knee out to the side. So I'm squeezing that heel in as far as it'll go and lifting the knee out to the side. Drop that knee down to the other knee and back out. 2 and 3, squeeze. And 4 and 5. Hold. 1, you're here. 2, extend out. Bend the knee, lower it down, and release it, everybody. Maybe if you can, sit back on those toes. Stretch those babies out. Don't do that if it hurts. There's a difference, you know, right? Discomfort, stretch, pain. Don't go there. Don't go pain. Good. Come on back. Press the left leg, level out the hips, lift the leg, draw the tailbone nice and long, everybody. And then give me that good squeeze. Squeeze that heel in and straighten. Good. Squeeze. In yoga and straighten. We will tend to overstretch the hammies and not strengthen. Straighten. So that squeeze in, there's your strengthening. Straighten, one more squeeze. And then take the knee up to the side. And lower the knee toward the other knee, but then squeeze it back up. Lower down, feeling that side hip muscle work, squeeze. And down. 2 more. Squeeze it up. Down. Squeeze it up. I realize I'm next to a wall. Extend out if you can. I cannot. Bend it back in. Lower that knee. Maybe sit back on the toes. Get your pinky toes involved in this, right? Good. Shake it out, everybody. And then come on back. Downward facing dog. Good down dogs, everybody. Think about what you're doing, right? Once you're there, pedal those feet out. Let's stretch through the back legs a little bit more. And then find your center, but I want you to bend the knees nice and deep. Open up those shoulders, upper shoulders externally rotate. Notice where you're carrying the weight in your hands. Move that weight into the rack of knuckles. Draw the fingertips down. Find your breath. And then just straighten one knee. So one knee straightens, that heel heads toward the ground or onto the ground. The other one is bent deeply. Switch sides. Find your breath. Good. Either switch sides again. This will be optional, or you're going to take the right leg off the floor and lift that up. Three-legged dog. Breathe. Bend the knee to heel to hip. Bring that foot back down slowly. Switch sides. Either you're just bending the knee so the other heel stretches, or you're lifting that leg up off the floor. Breathe, everybody. Bend the knee, heel to hip. Lower that foot. Take your feet wide. Walk your hands back. Pause in a forward fold here. Nice wide stance here. Your feet are to the edges of your yoga mat. And then bend your knees. Hold. Breathe. Hands come to knees. Tuck the belly in, but lift the chest and come on up to standing. Shake out those hands. Shake out the wrists. Find your breath. And then just a real easy, maybe slightly wider than your normal hips width. Your toes point forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. I'm not sure if I'm going to touch that fan. Exhale, come on over. And once you're over, I want you to push that hand into your leg and then fire up the opposite leg. So fire up that glute. And center. Other side, slide it down. Push the hand into the thigh, but resist, and engage the opposite side glute. Yeah. Come back to center. Hands to heart. Come on down to a little squat. Chair pose. Tailbone down, chest lifted. The knees aren't curling in to the middle. Arms out optionally. Breathe. Fire up the arms. Lengthen the tailbone. Feel your feet. Breathe and stand up. Exhale and shake it out, everybody. All right, let's come to the front of our mats. Grab your blocks. They can sit at the top corners of your mat. And then stand in mountain pose. Roll the shoulders. Find your pose. Chest is lifted, tailbone is lengthened. The legs have energy, but we're not popping those knees back, right? There's a softness to the knees. And a nice deep breath. And then inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, hands come to your blocks. The blocks are underneath your shoulders. I want you, and be careful here, especially if they're up at second level. You don't want them to get too tippy. Soften the knees and step back, right leg. Walk the blocks back so the blocks are in line with your front foot. And think about this lunge. So the front hip rolls back a little bit. The back hip may have to roll forward a little, but I also want you to check the up and downness of the hips. Is your right hip dropping toward the floor? And if it is, pull it back so that you could set a teacup on your sacrum and it would be level. Now, press into the back leg. Find the evenness of the front knee to front ankle. Use your breath here. We were doing this on the floor, everybody. Take your hands to your knee. Lift up through your torso. Fire up your back glute. See if you can find the low belly draw in. Take the arms up. Lunge pose. Simple, simple, simple. Knee down, always optional. Breathe. Take your hands to your heart. Hold. Open up your chest. And then slowly take those hands back down. Walk your blocks forward. And then step forward. Bend both knees. Come on up, standing tall. Exhale, hands to heart, chair pose. Arms out. Oh, yeah. Woo-hoo. Finding our legs, finding our hips, using our breath Stand all the way up. Exhale, arms down. Shake it out. Good. Side two. We good? We good? We good? Here we go. Take it up. Exhale, hands down to blocks. Pause here. Nice forward fold. We're draping the body over an imaginary ball, right? So we don't want to just round into the lower back. Bend the knees. Step back left leg. Make sure when you step back, your pose is wide enough from side to side and so that you have a stable pose. Walk the blocks back a little bit and then start to level the hips. Is the left hip dropping toward the floor? Can we level out? Can we find that tone to the belly to support our lower body? All right, hands to knee, peel it up. Whoop, thank you all. Feel that levelness of the hips. Sink in, power up the back leg, take the arms up. Find your breath. Imagine you're holding a beach ball with the arms, and at the same time, both legs are trying to press away from each other. Hands to heart. Open up the shoulders. Find your breath. Slowly lower down to your blocks. Step the blocks forward and step your leg forward. Bend both knees. Inhale all the way up. Exhale to your heart, little baby squat. Arms out, chair pose. Make sure your butt's back, right? Not supposed to say that as a teacher. Breathe. Stand all the way. Exhale all the way down. All right, so you're going to peel that right leg, but you're not going to go back quite as far. Usually warrior one is a kind of 2/3, 3/4 of your length. And as I dig the heel, as I dig the ball mound of my back foot into the mat, I'm going to drop the heel in slightly. Front knee is bent. I'm going to walk the blocks back a little bit. I'm going to see if the left hip has to come back and the right hip forward to level out the hips. Feel that for a moment. We were doing this on the floor. Take your hands to your knee. Squeeze the belly button in and then lift the chest. And then take the arms up. I feel a little short, so I'm going to lengthen out a little bit. If you go too long in warrior one, you don't get much contact with the back heel. And some of you won't anyway. Your ankle just won't let it happen. So breathe, lift the chest. Tone in through the belly. Feel this gorgeous pose. Take your hands to your heart. Straighten the front leg. Okay, so this is pyramid pose, same stance. The front leg is straight. The legs are even, the hips are even. Take your hands to your hips. And then start to tilt forward as if somebody has your head and is pulling it out to the side, not down. Adjust your hips. Hold. Optionally, take those hands down to your blocks, which can go higher, by the way, or to your shin. Look at the front leg. What's it doing? Is it rolling in? Is it rolling out? Is it doing the hokey pokey? Breathe. Now here, if you want, I would walk the blocks forward a little bit so that the torso can go longer, not lower, but longer. Breathe, everybody. Bend your front knee. Walk the blocks back just for stability. Press up to warrior one. Breathe. Hands to heart. Straighten the back foot to lunge. And then push off and step forward. Woo! Right? And feel that. It's like, woo! Right? Hamstring heaven. Right? So if you stop and you just move a little or walk a little, like I feel, the hamstrings attach right here. And it's like, woo! I just open that up. It feels good. It's not too much. I can wiggle, right? You want to know what your yoga poses are doing for your body. So check it out. Excuse me, let me get a little sip of water. And let's do the other side. So mountain pose. Find your breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take your hands to your blocks. Pause here. Where is the forward fold? Are you in the center of the feet? Are you leaning back into the heels? Where are you? Soften the knees. Step back with your left leg. Remember, about 2/3, 3/4, and then snuggle the ball mound in and drop the heel inside a little bit. Make sure the pose is wide enough again. Sometimes we'll go narrow when we step back. Maybe walk the blocks back. And think about warrior one. Front hip, back hip, right? Can we level those babies out a little bit? Can we draw the low belly in, the transverse abdominis, to support the back, to support the movement from here to up? Hands to knee, draw it up. Take the arms up, warrior one. Breathe. Front knee nice and straight, ideally. Both sides of the body really long. Back leg active, front knee bent. Big deep breath. Take your hands to your heart. Straighten the front leg and find your balance. Back glute is active, back leg is active. Right, this alone can feel really kind of unbalanced because the legs are straight. It's almost like walking a tightrope. All right, hands to hips. Press the hips back as the torso goes long. And on the way, check it out. Where are my hips on this side, right? For me in particular, the front hip always rolls forward. So I want to draw it back and draw the back glute, the back hip forward a little bit. And then maybe take your hands to the blocks. Remember, the blocks can be higher, by the way. What you don't want to feel is really congested underneath here as my torso goes toward the legs. I don't want to feel all bunched up. So sometimes taking the blocks up can really help with that. Find your breath. Check out the front foot. What's it doing? Is it rolling in, rolling out? Maybe walk the blocks forward. Find your breath. Keep playing with the hips, the belly, the alignment, the sensation, right? Is the front inner arch dropping to the floor? Is the ankle dropping in toward the floor? See if you can play with that a little bit. All right, walk the blocks back. Bend the front knee. We're going back to warrior one. So take it up. Breathe. Notice. Hands to heart. See if you can pivot the back foot a little. It's a small pivot there, lunge, and then step forward. And then shake it out, right? Where is it? How's it feel? There you go. Right, and again, just kind of notice, just grab one block, take it between the thighs, draw the inner ankles toward each other, and squeeze the block. Find your breath. Good, and then release that block. You can keep the blocks at the front of your mat. And we're gonna add an element to it, and that element is gonna be a balanced pose. So stand in mountain pose, and we're gonna pull them all together and shift into, say, your left foot if I were mirroring here. Peel the right foot off, own the belly, everything is same, and lift the knee. We did this on the floor. Think about it, right? If we're pressing both feet into an imaginary, well, this one into the imaginary floor, this one into the real floor, maybe we take the arms up, we hold on to the beach ball, we find that really strong standing leg, and then lower down. Shake it out. Other side. Here we go. Walking down the street. Okay. Where did that come from? Deep in the recesses. All right. Same thing. Hands are to your hips. You're going to peel and think about it, right? Tree pose, balance poses. We don't ever want to let the hip joint sway out to the side. We need a solid standing leg. And then we're going to lift that leg. We're going to check it out. We're going to find a still spot, hopefully. Even if you're tapping up and down, it's perfect, right? If you got to tap and then lift just to get that stability, that's awesome. Take the arms up, optional. Breathe. Hardest part is smiling, right? I'm so focused, like, I'm going to nail this balance pose. Smile. And lower down. And shake it out. Come on back to the front of your mat. We're going to add, so we're going to do exactly what we just did. We're going to add that balance pose to it at the end, transitioning to get there. So we're going to go slow. Front of the mat. Mountain pose, easy peasy. The belly is toned in, the chest is tall. You are out there in the world, right? Inhale, take it up. Listen up, hands to heart, little baby squat, chair pose. Roll the shoulders back. Take the arms out, optionally. Imagine somebody's trying to push those hips back a little bit so the hips are heavy, the heels are heavy in chair pose. Stand all the way up. Exhale all the way down to your blocks. Soften the knees and step back lunge with your right foot. Level the hips, tone in through the belly, hands come to knee, lift up, arms up optional. Nice solid lunge pose. Breathe. Hold on to the beach ball. Let's keep upper body active. Notice if you're leaning out to the pinky toe, and if you are, press the big toe back in and see how that feels. Exhale down to the blocks. Because I want you to transition properly. You're going to take a short step up. You're going to drop the heel in. You're going to bend the front knee, level out the hips, which means, again, for me, my left hip has to roll back, squeeze in through the belly, and either transition from the knee or straight up, warrior one. A little short. And breathe. And how does this pose feel? Do you want to take the hands together, maybe? Notice how that lengthens the side body. But again, for me, I got to really squeeze in that belly so I don't overarch my back. Nice adjust there, Betty. Take the arms out. Take them to your heart. Roll the shoulders. Straighten the front leg. Find your focus. Breathe. Pyramid pose. Hands to your hips. Feel them. Where are they? Tilt forward. Decide if you want to go for the blocks or not. That's going to be up to you. Breathe. Watch the front knee, by the way. Easy to pop that knee back. So just notice, maybe lift all your toes of the front foot and really solidify the front foot. Breathe. Bend your front knee. Go to warrior one. Woo. Breathe. Here's that tricky part. The hands come to your heart. You're going to push onto the big toes of your back foot, and then you're going to see if you can transition up. Arms up, optional. Breathe. Hands to heart. Step it back. I know, warrior one. Breathe. Hands to heart, or sorry, to hips, and just step forward. Well done. Yee-hee. See, I made it sound harder than it was. And again, just notice, How are you feeling since the beginning of class? Like already, I'm like, oh yeah, things are getting looser, right? So it's right. So it's just like we just were like, it's like taffy. And especially in the morning, our taffy is tight. And we just got to kind of stretch it out. And then all of a sudden, it's ready to go. All right. Mountain pose, other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down we go. Forward fold, nice and easy. Soften the knees, left foot steps back to a lunge. Make sure the pose is wide enough. You're going to level the hips. Whether you transition knee or not, come on up, arms up, or lunge pose. And breathe, everybody. Right, so lunge pose, working the front hip, working the left or the back legs. So as big stretch there for a lot of us. Breathe. Slowly transition back to the blocks. Shorten your back step, turn the heel in, slight turn in. Remember, pyramid pose and warrior one, both hips forward. Press into the floor to lift those arms up. Warrior one. Nice engagement of the back glutes. Nice lift of the chest. Maybe the hands come together and we really open up. Big deep breath, everybody. Nice. Release, hands to heart. Woo. Straighten the front leg. Find your breath. Pyramid pose. Hands to hips. I like this way to go because then I can go, where are those hips going, right? Let's try not to let them go all cockeyed. See if we can keep them straight. Hinge nice deep from the hips. Maybe you just pause halfway. Maybe the hands come down. Maybe we walk the blocks forward. Big deep breath. Where are you in your body? What are you feeling right now? Can you find it's kind of like almost a sense of peace or ease or something in the pose that allows you to stay and come back to the breath. Breathe. Bend your front knee, walk the blocks back. It's just from a stability standpoint. Tone up and come back to warrior one. Good. Breathe. Nice solid front leg. Hands come to heart. Here's our transition. Watch out for your blocks. You're going to come to the big toe of your back foot. You might hang out right there, or you're going to lift up. Woo, woo, woo. So nice to have a wall nearby. Breathe. Arms up, optional. Think about what we did on the floor. Strong, solid standing leg. Hands to heart. Transition back. Yeah, beautiful. Take the arms up. Warrior one. Take the hands to your heart. Step forward and shake it out. Just notice, right? How did that feel? Good. And then maybe you're near a wall because I just want to stretch the quads and engage the hams a little bit before we come to the floor. So wall, no wall, fingertip to a piece of furniture, shift into one leg, and if you can, grab the other foot. If you cannot, and you're near a wall, you can just come here, right? Just see if you can find a stretch of the front thigh. Roll the shoulders back. If you don't need the wall or want to play without it, take the arm up to the ceiling. Your focus is on stretching this quadricep. So if your balance is all wobbly and taking you off pose, then just take your finger to the wall again. Good, big deep breath. And release that. Good, shake it out, go to the other side. When you're ready, find the footing, find the stability. Whoop, and come on up. So it's always interesting in this pose, right? If we're doing just this simple quad stretch, that we think we should bring the leg back. And I rarely find that to deepen my stretch. Usually I've got to tuck the pelvis a little bit and press the knee toward the floor. Good, big breath. And release it. And shake it out and just feel what those lovely legs are feeling like. And then come on back to the front of your mat. You're going to set your blocks aside. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right leg back. Just because we enjoy it so much, just come up for a nice lunge. Breathe. We won't stay here for long. Exhale back down to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Find your breath. Pedal out your feet, everybody. Come to plank pose. Knees up or knees down. Not butt up if you can help it, right? Butt up will help ease the pose a little. We want to try to keep it even. Find your pose, everyone. Breathe. Lower the knees. Chaturanga, take it down. Release to a very low cobra. We have not done much in the way of back bends. Press back up to plank. To down dog. Right foot forward. Take it into your lunge. Ooh, yeah. Breathe. Lower down. Step back. Down dog. Plank pose. Woo. Breathe. Knees up or down. Chaturanga. Woo. Low cobra. And lower down. Lower all the way down. And shake out those hips. Good. Just get your thighs nice and long, like lift one side, lift the other side. Get them nice and long and then press down through the pubic bone. Lift your left leg while pressing the right leg down. Do your best to keep the hips even, everybody. And then bend the knee, optional. So the knee is not only lifted, but it's bent. Hold, maybe point the toes. Lower the knee and then straighten the leg down. Lift the right leg. Bend the knee optionally. Breathe. Lower the knee and straighten. Shake it out. Take both hands in front of you, wide, wider than normal, soft elbows. Press into your arms. Now, one, you're here, pubic bone down, belly presses in. Two, you're going to walk those hands one handprint back, shoulders down. Watch the low backs here, right? We don't want to get too cranky in the low back, but we want to see if we can keep the mobility there. So shoulders are down, the hands are pressing in. One, you're here. Two, you go back out. Three, you walk them in one more time. Open the shoulders. This is a variation of cobra, obviously. Breathe. Stretch your belly. Ah. Lower the elbows. You should be right about Sphinx pose, maybe a little wide. And lower down the rest of the way. Grab one block and put it where you can reach it, and then come onto your backs. Which I know you're all very happy about. And just pause. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. I want you to pause, maybe rock a little bit side to side. The arms are down at your sides. The palms can be face up or face down, really. Try and face up and see how that feels. We're going to play with bridge pose. Why? Because we just stretched the heck out of these hamstrings. So I want to engage them and feel those muscles fire up. So the first thing I want you to do before we even lift is just pull your heels back toward your glutes isometrically and feel the hamstrings engage. The back is going to arch a little bit. You should feel that too. And then push the feet away isometrically. Your back will get longer. And then pull them into your hip line, right? They're not moving. You're just, the body's moving, but the heels are staying in place. And then push them away. One more time. Pull the heels up toward the glutes and push them away. And then come back to neutral. Shoulders are down, palms are face up or down. Want you to lengthen through the tailbone and lift your hips. I kind of like, we do all kinds of things with the arms for bridge pose, but when they're face up, the shoulders rarely have a choice but to roll back to the floor. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And it takes the upper body out of the pose a little bit. Now, your hips are up, your tailbone is very long toward the back of your knees. And I want you to pull the heels back isometrically and push them forward. Pull them back, push forward. Pull them back, hold here, breathe, lengthen your tailbone and drop back down to the floor. Bring one knee to chest, but don't hold on to it. Just bring it to chest. Put that foot back on the floor. Bring your other knee to your chest. Put that one to the floor. Feet are back to hips width apart. The arms come into robot arms. Elbows are at your sides. Fingertips are pressing up toward the ceiling. Shoulders are pressing down. Here we go. Lengthen your tailbone. Lift your hips. Find your breath. Pull the heels back. Hold. As you pull the heels back, weirdly, right, the shins actually move forward a little bit. The hips are nice and long. We find our breath. Breathe. Squeeze a little bit on the glutes, not overly. And lengthen and then lower down. Whew. Bring one knee to your chest. Don't hold it. Lower. Bring your other knee to your chest. And lower. Last one here. Same thing with the arms, robot arms. Same thing with the tailbone. Lift the hips off the floor, everybody. And then take the hands and press them down to your mats or hold the sides of your mat, either one. But I like to press down, right, to give us a little bit of leverage. You're going to push into your right foot, bring your left knee toward your chest. And then lower that foot, reestablish, bring the right knee to your chest. Down. Left side, we're doing 3 on each side, just so you know there's an end to this. And right side. Down, one more, both sides. Left knee comes to chest. And down. Right knee comes to chest. And down. Lift your hips. Lengthen your tailbone. Drop those hips down to the floor. Whew. Bring one knee to chest this time. Hold on to it. Straighten the other leg. Nice deep breath. Switch sides, bring the knee in, straighten the other leg. Whew. Bring both knees to your chest, grab your block. Take the block at the thinnest level, the skinniest level, take it between your knees. Bring your feet back to the floor and squeeze your block. Just squeeze. Release the squeeze. One more time, give it a nice big squeeze. And release your squeeze. Bring the knees toward your chest. Turn the block to the second width. Ideally between the knees, and if that bothers your knees, just bring them above the knees. Give your block a good squeeze. The hips are on the floor, feet are on the floor. Squeeze and release the squeeze. One more squeeze. Don't hold the breath. And release your squeeze. Draw the knees to chest. Go wide with your block. Feet are back to the floor. Adjust your feet so that your knees and your feet are in line. And finally, squeeze your block. Release your squeeze. Last one, squeeze your block. And release your squeeze. Bring those knees to your chest, grab your block, your feet go to the floor, the hips lift, and that block goes underneath your sacrum at the lowest level. Always, always make sure that block is nowhere near your lower back. It should be on that hard, bony sacrum, should feel solid, no back pain here at all. Breathe. Bring your right knee to your chest. Straighten the left leg any amount, which means it may not go all the way straight. So we're stretching the psoas muscle here. It's a lovely stretch. Don't make it more than it is. It's a passive stretch. Relax your legs, relax your upper body. You can hold your right leg, but just to kind of keep it in place, not to pull it into chest. You don't want to throw those SI joints off. You're just letting this be a really passive, sweet stretch. Maybe you close the eyes. And as you exhale, you bring that exhale to the part of the body that might need a little extra love. Good. One more nice deep breath here, everyone. Slide the left heel on the floor until that knee lifts up back to chest. Switching sides. The right leg goes straight, the left knee stays up toward chest. Try to relax here. Good. One more nice deep breath, everybody. Slide the heel up. Both knees are up. The block is solidly under your sacrum. The legs go up to the ceiling for an inversion here. Shoulders are down, palms ideally face up, or stabilizing your block if you feel like you need to just wrap hands around the block. Just find your breath here. Just let all of your worries melt into your mat. Let all of your troubles, your pain melt into your mat. And with each succeeding breath, feel yourself getting even lighter, as if there were a glow coming from the inside to the outside. That being love, of course. Let that glow out. Feel that overtake your body. Feel that spill out into the room. Bend the knees very slowly toward your chest. One foot to the floor at a time. Press into the feet, lift the hips to move that block out of the way. And lower those hips down to the floor. Bring both knees up and just some nice knee circles here. We're done. Just want to make sure that back and those hips feel good. So circle one direction and then the other. And then coming back to center, straightening one leg and then the other. And coming back to the place we started, Shavasana. Notice how your body feels. Allow yourself to sink down into the mat fully. Breathe, everybody. Feel yourself getting softer and softer still.
Start to bend the knees, draw the knees toward chest. Rock the knees side to side. Ever so slowly allow the knees to fall on one side or the other. Curl all the way over and slowly press yourself.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. There you go. Is that better? Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. I was wondering, is she telling us to sit up?
Yes. So bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner wisdom, your own inner strength. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.